Papi, the K series in the Miata. Oh my god.
All right, guys. So as you can see, we have a K24a2 inside the Miata. We're using the stock Miata subframe with a stock Miata rack. No power steering though. And we have the K24a2 in here for a very budget price. I'm gonna walk you guys through the whole process, but right now I'm gonna do a quick breakdown of the price. The cheapest and best route is going through the K Industries catalog. In my opinion, the stuff that you really need is the oil pan and the mounts. In this case, for a K24a2, you have to put in there that you're getting a K24a2 specific kit, not the Z3. And for as far as the oiling system, the same thing. You're gonna get the oil pan for a Z3. You have to read carefully. It tells you that the Z3 one will work for this K24a2 as long as you're running this mount setup. And again, you can always go the expensive route and do the 12-wheeler subframe, but that's gonna be way far out of budget. Right now, I'm $1,700. Let's just say 17 rounded up for the mounts and the oil pan, and I'm $800 into the engine. So as of right now, if we do a quick math, we're $2,500 into a K-swap. The K-swap is bolted to the engine. Obviously, you know, the valve cover is not on there, but the K-swap is in the car. The transmission, we're not gonna talk about that in the budget for now, but for $2,500, you have a K24 swap Miata. Not 13 grand, not $4,000 for a plug and play kit. Again, this is the engine with mounts and an oil pan inside the car for $2,500 bucks, K24 swap Miata. Test fitting the oil pan. To me, it looked like the hard lines on the rack needed to be removed. I thought this needed to be removed, but apparently K Industries did their homework. Looks like the fit up is pretty good. Tell us something, Bicho Performance.
We're gonna be making 500 horsepower by next week.
God damn. And we got the autopan here. The autopan. You can't say auto parts. You gotta say el autopan. Because we're in Miami, autopan. Bicho Performance. Stay tuned. If you're fat, get yourself a skinny friend. If you're fat, get yourself a skinny friend. Because ain't no way my fat ass is getting in that engine bay like that, bro. Ain't no way. What's up? People, Bicho Performance. How we doing? How we looking? It's Bichote Performance. Ready to go in the Miata. And I swapped up oil pan, put it over the subframe, see what's up.
You know, if we really wanted to, we could have started right here. But someone bought a hardtop instead of an ECU.
Who the fuck needs fuel management when you have a hardtop? Look at the fucking hardtop, bro. Look at the hardtop, bro. Fuck fuel tech, hardtop. Es alto, me compré es alto. I look hard. Oh. Damn, look how you flexing. Bichote Racing. Bichote Racing with the K24. Damn, boy got that gun.
Danny.
Ah!
You know what they call me, Mr. Strippy.
Whoa, you on strip press? So we got the first engine mount bolted up. You're trying to do one of these, that's where it goes. The other side we're still trying to figure out because I'm kind of slow. So let's see how the other side goes. We got a little bracket. Okay guys, so we figured it out. How was it up, homie?
Alright, Alright, so this is the right side.
Yeah, guys, just clearing a few things up. We were thinking we got the wrong thing. It says K24Z3B, so we thought K Industry sent us the wrong thing. But this is the only piece you need. If you're running a K24A2, you're gonna put that top part, and then this bottom part is gonna mount right here, and that's gonna be your other bolt for the mount. So again, it is gonna say Z3, but this is the only part that makes the Z3 and the K24A2 kit different. So don't get confused like us, because we're slow, and by us I mean me. Because Javi's fast, he got a Civic. Put on, at least the ones on the block. Again, on a K24A2, if you're not doing the tubular subframe, this is how your setup is gonna look. It's the Z3 setup. The only thing difference between the Z3 and the A2 setup on the K Industries is gonna be this bracket down here. This is why Bicho Performance makes the big bucks. So yeah, guys, like Javi said, it makes sense that this side goes here, because it's gonna reinforce this plate.
Yeah, tie everything together.
Tie everything together. So we are gonna have to make a little clearance right here. Clearance is gonna enter the chat right now. You think we just beat it out with a hammer? Or we could just fucking torque the shit out of that. No, that's not how it works. So guys, always use the right tool for the job. And this right here is not the right tool for the job. But we're gonna fucking sand it. It's literally the whole thing. All right, leave it there so I can see the clearance. You see clearance back there? So yeah, take it off now. So you gotta notch that little part, and then you put that plate on there, and then you put your mount on there, and you fucking sand her. All right, so the next step is putting these parts in the Miata subframe. Again, this is a stock Miata subframe. Dog, that shit was Gucci as fuck.
Danny, you're not even recording the subframe, no?
Huh?
You're not even recording the subframe.
He's recording, bro. Subframe. My boy putting a mount in. He says we got a K-swap Civic, so holy fuck shit. I'm trying to sell the Civic because I want some Miata. My Miata's raw. Oh, the gun doesn't fit it?
Huh? Nah, I don't. Me and I get extensive.
If you're running a K24Z3, which the Miata community loves for some reason, that engine's trash. You don't have double VTEC on, you know, intake and exhaust like an A2, so the engine is trash. NA, you won't make a lot of power, and if you're going boosted, you're not gonna make a lot of power. In my opinion, you're wasting your time. The biggest, well, right away, you can tell this is an A2 because it has 4 exhaust ports. The Z3 has that big exhaust port. But before I go into that tangent of the Z3 and the A2s, the deal is here. As you can see right here, without the tubular subframe, you don't have space for the exhaust. So the exhaust is really complicated on A2. I'm doing turbo. As you can see, even compared to like a 350Z, you have a ton of space for the turbo. So I'm doing a little log manifold. My turbo's gonna sit right over here. So for me, I'm not concerned about exhaust. That's the only problem you're going to encounter. Well, not the only problem, but the only big problem you're going to encounter doing this K24A2 route the cheap way. You're going to encounter problems with your exhaust. But if you're not worried about the exhaust, if you're just going to do like a fender exit or a hood exit or something like that, or you can figure out the thing or you're going turbo, this is the way to do a A2 in here for cheapest. And again, this will work also, like this video will work if you're doing the Z3. And again, the Z3 has that single, you know, exhaust port, so you're able to run 1 3-inch all the way through there and you're good. The problem is that the manifolds that you buy from K Industries, it's a 4-2, so the 2 won't be able to fit through there. Again, if you get a custom exhaust manifold done, you're good too. So let's break down. Again, all I paid for was the mounts and the custom oil pan. That is a Z3 oil pan. I'll explain that right now. So again, this is the cheapest way to get a K24 in your Miata without custom fabricating an oil pan in your own mounts. So plug and play, this is absolute cheapest way to get a K24 in your Miata. But like I said about the rack, I thought at first, I'm gonna show now when I was being arrogant and I test fitted the oil pan without the engine over the rack and original subframe, and it looked like it would clear even with the lines. But when we put the engine in, the problem is that it would kick the engine forward, so you weren't able to get the mounts in here. Because you see, this is Miata subframe and this is the engine, so these things would be way far up because the lines, you have to cut them clean off. You not only have to cut the line, but you have to cut the part on the rack where the line attaches to, like the little nub that comes out of the rack. I'll do a little video once we get the engine out, or get underneath the car and show you guys. But you have to shave them clean off, and you have to take off the line that goes right here. You have to take that line off too. And the two front parts that attach to the rack, and then the little bushing that's threaded, you have to take all of that off. So nothing can be in front of your rack. Your rack has to be flush and the engine drops down. Again, it was extremely difficult to get this engine in here. The tolerances are very tight. And yes, you have 2 screws on the bottom of this mount that attaches to the subframe, but those 2 screws do not give you a lot of adjustment. What we did is we installed this first, then we dropped the engine in. Like, we installed this to the engine and only this to the Miata. So all we had to do was get this big C over this metal part. And still, what the problems that we were having is that the engine would go a little sideways. And if you look closely, your distance between the aluminum oil pan and the subframe is almost nothing. It's maybe an inch. So we would have the oil pan hitting here. We'd have the oil pan in the front hitting that big mount on the rack. So we had to drop the engine perfectly straight down. And again, we were still having problems getting them in because these would move, or then these would move. And again, the tolerances are just very tight. In my opinion, it's kind of a oversight on K Industries. Yes, everything does fit nice, but man, it is so difficult to get it in there. Like, we were kind of thinking of dropping it in with the transmission, and that is absolutely not the way to do it. Like, there is no way you would get this engine in here with a transmission. Like, I mean, I'm sure you can figure out, but with the weight of the transmission pulling you down and inclining the engine, it would be a million times more difficult to get an engine in here if you had the transmission. So in my honest opinion, I don't think it would be worth the trouble. Like, you just have to lift up the car and put the transmission in from underneath. But we digress. If you watch the full video, I'll explain to you guys how I got this Miata for free. I bought the Miata with a 1.8 engine, non-running, no transmission. And I sold off a bunch of parts, and the car is already free. I got some headlights. I just need to get a bumper. I'm doing an MB2 conversion, but for cheap. Again, just sourcing parts for cheap. So yeah, as of now, we're only $2,500 into the car, including the car, which is pretty awesome. You know, K24 Miata. The Miata was free with a title, clean title in Florida. The K24 again was $800, and it had a Type S oil pump. So a Type S oil pump is easily $300. It has a brand new timing chain, so I don't have to do a timing chain. I'm going with Fuel Tech 450, so I do have to take off the crank so I can change the reluctor wheel, because the Fuel Tech reluctor wheel has more teeth on it, and you just have to switch that out. Don't ask me why, but I just know you have to do it. So again, let's go into some of the more budget things. As you see, like I had explained, you have to disconnect a lot of the lines for the power steering. And here you can see the mounts again. Everything is just like test fitting in place. And again, here, as you can see, I obviously did not go for the K Industries intake manifold. Obviously, this intake manifold is not gonna work. because as you can see, it's facing the firewall. Yeah, maybe we could do something cool and have a cold air intake into the cab, but no, this car's going turbo, and we're not gonna do a U coming back or nothing like that. So right here, what we're gonna do, K24a2 Racing, we're gonna be offering some rear wheel drive options on intake manifolds. We're gonna be getting these and capping them off and either doing a center feed or a front feed. And again, the biggest objective here is doing a budget conscious thing. We're gonna be, as you can see, this is the Cerakote valve cover and the copper patina Cerakote with a clear gloss. We're gonna be offering these kinds of high quality Cerakotes for all these parts. So again, stay tuned for intake manifolds, turbo manifolds, and maybe even oil pans. Mounts we're not gonna even try because that's CNC aluminum stuff. That's really nice. But the manifolds, we're gonna make some very price conscious manifolds intake, and we're gonna make the turbo manifold. We're just gonna do some simple logs, nothing fancy, but it's gonna work well, and it's gonna be stainless steel out of some nice thick aluminum, stainless steel out of some nice thick stainless steel, all welded in the USA, made proudly by us. And again, we will offer Cerakote, all done in-house. So please stay tuned for the K24 Miata build, and stay tuned for the parts that we're going to be offering very soon. Thank you guys for watching the build. The next step now is to get the BMW 5-speed inside, start fabricating the cross member, and to start, we're going to lop this off, weld it down the middle is where I think I'm going to go, so I can have a clean routing down here for my intercooler line. Like I said, the turbo is going to go like right here, so I can feed, down and out. And I think my exhaust is gonna come out over there on the fender, because I want to do something cool with the exhaust. I might do a 3-inch down with a valve later, but I definitely want to exhaust out the side, just for, when I want to do some cool two-step. So again, guys, this is how to get a K24 in a Miata for $2,500. $2,500 K24 Miata. Let me just show you guys now the elephant in the room. Oh, by the way, I did get a hardtop, so don't count the hardtop in the budget. That doesn't count, guys. So this is the current state of the wiring inside. The plan right now is we're gonna do a 450, FuelTech 450 with a custom K-series harness. That's gonna be sort of plug and play. Now from the body harness, we're gonna have to open everything up, because unfortunately in this car, the engine and the body harness are together. As you can see, everything's together. We're gonna have to open up the body harness, separate it from the engine harness, and we're just gonna keep headlights, tail lights, power windows, and that's it. I don't even think I want to run a radio in this car. No AC, no power steering, none of that fancy stuff. And again, yeah, I am gonna keep the dash. I want to retain a nice factory looking interior, obviously a nice little 4-point bar. But again, we're gonna open up this harness. We're gonna keep ignition, headlights, tail lights, and power windows. That's all I want from this whole harness. So again, it makes no sense to leave this whole harness. I've seen a lot of K-swap Miatas that they retain the whole harness from the Miata, and to me that just doesn't make sense. I don't want my engine bay to be cluttered or anything back here to be cluttered. My buddy K24a2 Racing keeps telling me not to get rid of the blowers and all that stuff, but I don't know. I really don't think I see myself putting AC in this car, because this is technically, quote unquote, a race car. Even though it's gonna be a street car, but it's a race car. I'm not gonna take it out too many days, so we might just keep it simple, stupid, and get rid of all of this for some weight reduction and put it back. But yeah, like I said, the 450 FuelTech with the custom harness K-series, and then we're gonna do ignition signal off the Miata harness, so I can start it with the Miata key. But that's it. Everything else is gonna be custom. No fancy stuff here. No working gauges, none of that. We're gonna be running the FuelTech 450 screen, which I think looks super clean. But yeah, guys, so far $2,500 into a K-swap Miata. Don't count the hardtop. And yeah, obviously once we add the FuelTech, once we add the BMW transmission and adapter plate, the budget is gonna go up. But as of right now, for $2,500, I'm sitting on a K24 NB2, because I'm gonna do an NB2 conversion, but technically it is an NB1. So for $2,500, you can have yourself a nice K24 monster, because this thing with a turbo, I'm expecting to make at the very least 450 horsepower to the wheels. And everything's gonna be eBay stuff. I'm gonna try to, splurge on some stuff, but most of the stuff I'm gonna stick to eBay stuff. And again, just try to make some power for the cheapest. And again, this is the cheapest way you can K-swap a Miata in all of YouTube. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned. We're gonna have some awesome content coming up. Hopefully within a month or two, we should have the car started. So sorry that the progress isn't gonna be strong right now. Fuel tech and harness is not cheap, so I gotta save up for that. We don't do no credit cards around here, and we don't have no sponsors. So again, just stay tuned. But if you're interested in doing a very cheap K24 Miata, please stay tuned. We just want to help you guys, and again, we're going to put out some good products to help you guys along the way. Thanks again for watching.
Hey, Papi, the K series in the Miata. Oh my God.
It's rolling.
You think the hood's gonna close, Javi?
It closed perfectly fine.
Damn, K-swap, baby. It's just sticking out, man.
Got the hood spacers.
Got the hood spacers. Yeah, the bolts fell off.
What that is? That's the power cable and the battery.
Ooh, makes sense. It goes to the bottom of the car like that?
Yeah, it's just thick as
Fat ass
fuck.
cable. Thanks, Doug.
And
Thanks,
the guy
Doug.
behind the camera thinks the O2 sensor. No, just cut the O2 sensor plug.
Just cut that shit out. Cut that shit out.